Now we turn to the great state in West Virginia. Now, its sole Democratic Senator, Joe Manchin, remember, he was pivotal in passing Biden's $2 trillion America Rescue Plan, as well as the $1 trillion Inflation Reduction Act. Now, to do this, they agreed, that means Schumer, and that means Joe Biden had to agree with a deal with Joe Manchin, and he was promised many energy projects for his state of West Virginia. By the way, it's still the lifeblood of his state's economy, and it's a lifeblood of the world's economy. But both a key pipeline and other incentives involving batteries, they all have been upended at the federal level. In other words, Joe went along with the climate alarmist cult, and they broke their promise to Joe Manchin. It now appears Joe Manchin was lied to. He is now blasting what he calls Joe Biden's deficiency of leadership. He is accusing his own party of abusing their power, and he's here to talk about it. West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. Senator, welcome to the program.
Good to be with you, Sean.
No, Senator, we don't agree on every issue, but I really believe on the one issue that we do agree on passionately, especially for the people. You have wonderful people in your state. I've been there a number of times.
Absolutely.
And this energy issue is the lifeblood of the world's economy. You made a deal with Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden. Did they break their word to you?
Well, basically, they broke their word to the American public. And what had happened is I had an opportunity to write a piece of legislation. The total cost of the bill was $687 billion over 10 years. That's how much money would be basically appropriated for this bill was raised. And $384 billion went directly to energy. I had a chance to write the energy portion would give us energy security. The Ukraine war breaks out, Sean. Putin weaponizes energy. We can't help our allies. We see what's happening. We're not even energy independent ourselves. You cannot remain and be the superpower of the world unless you have energy independence and energy security. We have the gas, and we have the oil, we have the coal. We can do it better and cleaner than anywhere in the world. And so this piece of legislation was balanced. 10 years that we're going to have enough fossil to run our country and to help our allies around the world. And we also be investing in the new technology for the future. Now, they've disregarded that completely, what was agreed upon, and they know exactly what we agreed upon. This was energy security, and you have not heard the word energy security out of their mouth since it was passed. It's all about environment.
You know, I look at this, Senator, and it really scares me because now we were energy independent. Now we're energy dependent once again. That is hurting not only your state, your economy. Think of all the benefits of being energy independent. It's good for national security. We don't need to count on countries that we know don't like us for the lifeblood of our economy. It's good for high-paying career jobs in the energy sector, and we could be energy dominant, and we could be providing all of our Western European allies with all the energy they need because we have so much in terms of natural resources.
Well, we're producing more than we have in the past. 2019, for a short period of time, we were producing about 13 million barrels of oil a day. We need to be in that 13 to 15 million a day bracket in order for us to be truly independent. We're producing about 35 trillion cubic feet of gas a year. We need to do 35 to 40. We're basically shipping 13 billion cubic feet a day of LNG overseas to help our allies. That needs to be between 20 and 30. We can get there, but they have to basically commit themselves. Let me make it very clear. If this administration does not honor what it said it would do and basically continue to liberalize that, where $384 billion is what we're supposed to invest over 10 years, and they blow that out of the water and it's 6 or 7 or 800, I will do everything I can in my power to prevent that from happening. And if they don't change, then I would vote to repeal my own bill.
Let me ask you this, Senator. You have been critical of Joe Biden. He said he will not negotiate originally with Kevin McCarthy. We have a debt ceiling deadline coming, we expect sometime in June. They have not spoken in 82 days. I don't know why Joe Biden refuses to meet with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy has put out a plan that is far more fiscally responsible, cuts down the debt and the deficit. It reduces the rate of growth to only 1%. I think it's a good plan. You seem to think it's a good plan. Why isn't the president willing to talk to the Speaker of the House?
Well, I can't tell you why, but I can tell you one thing. I've done everything I can to say that this is a responsibility, this is his job, this is a responsibility of the leader of the free world and definitely of the United States president. He has to negotiate. This is what we're all about. We're the greatest deliberate body in the world, and that means you have to sit down and work, negotiate, come out with differences. If Kevin McCarthy is able to pass his legislation and send it to the Senate, there's a lot of good things in there that I know we can work with, and there's a lot of things I don't agree with. But you have to be able to start negotiations.
Well, Joe Biden he's not willing to meet with them.
Well, he can't play Russian roulette with the debt, with the debt ceiling. That is going to be disastrous for our economy and all of our people. You know, the American people, all segments of our society, Sean, are just fed up with all of this back and forth, calling each other names, fighting and arguing. This is the United States of America, not the divided states. And you've got to get in a room and work out the differences for the sake of this country.
Senator,
we take an oath to defend the Constitution. And it just makes me so
I would
sick.
find it very, very hard. And I know you love the people in your state. I know you believe in being energy independent. That is incontrovertible. The question is, if you make a deal and they go back on their promise to you and it hurts the people in your state, do you ever think, you know what, forget it, I don't need to be a part of this group of people because you're a very powerful senator, they need your vote, and without it, they're in trouble. I have about 30 seconds.
Well, they don't always get my vote, and you know that. If I can't go home and explain, I don't vote for it. And I think about that every day. Why am I a Democrat when everybody's going in different directions? But parties should not make who you are as a person. You should be a person who's committed to this country and your state first before the parties take control of you. And they're not going to take control of me.
Glad to hear that. All right. I think you set a record, the first Democrat to get applause. Anyway, coming up, Joe Biden set to announce his re-election campaign, but is that a good idea? Polling says definitely no go. Tulsi Gabbard right here in studio as we continue.